Hey, there it is.
You can hear me?
Loud and clear, brother.
Does it sound like better than it did last night?
Does it sound better?
Yeah.
Much.
Much? Nice.
You were right on time. I was like slipping. I was falling asleep.
Oh, damn. Yeah. I had him cut my hair up because I was like, yo, I need the back of my hair cut pretty bad. I think I've already got my top 3 kills of the weekend.
Oh, you think?
I think so. I got my list going and I just put it like that. So it's like if there's another one I think is better, I can reshuffle, add a couple more, and rethink about it later. 25 Slays of Christmas. It is
25
Slay
Slay
9.
9. Krampus.
Krampus.
Krampus. For me, honestly, I think we've peaked. I think this is as good as we're gonna see this holiday season.
I was pleasantly surprised with the Krampus.
Because you'd never
I
seen
thought,
it before, and I was very excited to show it to you.
yeah, exactly. Like I have never seen this, but it was a better take on a Christmas horror film, I think, than the rest of them that we've got to see.
Yeah, even of the best of them that we've seen, nothing has like ticked the boxes as much as this one. Like this one works on every level for me. Watching it this time around, I mean, this isn't just one of my favorite like 25 Slay movies. I mean, this is one of my favorite movies of all time. I mean, I love Krampus. It's one of my favorite Christmas movies, hands down, horror or not.
Yeah.
Because we were kind of talking about it when we were watching it, but it does, like, I just think it is so relatable. And whether your family is identical to that family or not, like I think there's a little something in there that everybody can say, oh yeah, I know what that's like it really hits the nail on the head of the stress of the holidays and like all the
Oh yeah.
you deal with family and stuff like that. And I was honestly shocked when I looked it up and it was PG-13.
Yeah, I know you did
Because
make that
I was
comment.
going back and forth. I was like, this isn't PG-13. Like, it's got to be rated R as we were watching it. But then I was like, no, maybe not. And when I looked it up and it said PG-13, I was like, no shit.
I
Yeah.
feel like they do a really good job at teetering that line of PG-13R in it
Mhm.
to make it so you could maybe bring some maybe close to teenage kids to go see that.
I honestly
The
think
lesson.
a lot of people, they get pissy when it comes to PG-13 horror. Like people feel like it can't be done or whatever. I think there's a huge list of PG-13 horror movies that prove that like you can have a terrifying movie that's
Yeah.
PG-13.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
for sure. I mean, I actually read that the Black Christmas remake that we watched last week was a lot of people were upset that that one wasn't rated R, like the past installments were. But the director wanted it to be PG-13 so that younger female audiences could see it as a kind of
I
uh,
feel that. I
of
get that.
it and everything like that. And I was like, okay, I can respect that. I can dig that.
Yeah, that's a respectable thing, but I mean, I
Especially
do
with the
feel
black shit instead of the blood, I think it worked in their favor.
I do. I feel the other aspect of it because I am a fan of horror, and yeah, when it's not rated R, you're like, ah,
Yeah, there's definitely those cases, but Krampus is most certainly not one of those movies.
no, I thought it
It
was
didn't have to
great.
be rated R. It really didn't need to be. It really got its point across very well.
Well, and I like it because like some of the characters within it on the Krampus side of things, like the toys and stuff when they come alive, it reminded me of the slasher films that like I grew up watching and loving, like the old days and the old animatronic type style of villain. Like we're using a real thing, but it's clearly fake at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. I've already said it, I think, in a few videos now, but I always am going to take practical effects over CGI.
Oh yeah.
I'm not against CGI by no means, and I think Krampus is a great example of not leaning on CGI but using it to enhance the practical effects. And they do it, and they when they do use the CGI, it works very well.
Yeah, they use it when they need to use it.
And I mean, for me, I mean, as a Christmas movie, I think this works very well. As a horror movie, I think it works very well. And I know I said when we first started the movie that this is, and I don't think this is gonna get knocked from the. I don't think it's gonna get dethroned here, but it's definitely my favorite cast of any of
Oh yeah.
the movies. You know what? And that was something this time watching the movie that I really enjoyed was every single dynamic of the family worked. Like it was real. Like every single
Right.
dynamic of the family, like nobody was pushed off to the side. You know, this is how the cousins are. Here, this is how the brother and sister are. This is how they are with the in-laws, like the aunt.
Oh yeah.
I mean, every single little piece of this family felt so real. Whereas most of the time you watch movies like this and there's somebody who like gets pushed off. I'd say the most they had of that in this movie was the little tubby kid who
Yeah.
gets killed because he eats a fucking gingerbread cookie. Like, you know, but and again, I'm a huge fan of horror comedies as well, and I think this movie is a fucking beautiful. You know, we were talking about it before you left earlier. I think it's a beautiful balancing act of a movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, the way it juggles tones. I mean, because especially spoilers. It's a dark movie, and it does not have a happy ending. And like I told you, watching it this time around and remembering how it ends, and like watching them be so hopeful and try so hard, and it's just like you guys are doomed regardless. And
Right.
it's so bleak. It's actually such a dark, bleak movie, but at the same time, it's hilarious. It's so funny too. I dig that. For me, like it's one of those movies that like is flawless in my eyes. Like I have no complaints about this movie personally. Like I really just like as a filmmaker, as a film fan, I just love this movie from start to finish. Every aspect of it just really works for me.
No, I did too. And I think that shows when you're watching it and stuff like that. Like I did, I enjoyed it all. And Max keeps fucking up the whole time. And I'm like, I love it. Okay, Max, you should just shut the fuck up, but you don't. And this is what you're gonna get. And it played that line like good. I enjoy horror movies that don't end on a happy note.
Hmm.
That's my thing. And I feel like this movie nailed that pretty good at the end there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like I don't know, like even like I said, even like the campy sort of CGI evil characters that they threw in of the little toys and the gingerbread men and all this stuff, I just felt like it really worked within there.
Yeah. It all just feels like nothing feels out of place in this movie.
Well, and it's a great Christmas movie without being too cringy and too cheesy. I
Yeah,
felt like too.
it's very realistic, and exactly like what you just said. It's like
Yeah.
there's no moments that take me out of it. I am never
Yeah.
there's never a moment that like I get taken out of the world of Krampus. Like once that movie starts, because like even you, as soon as the opening credits started and all the people rush in on Black Friday or it's like the day before Christmas maybe or something like that, you're like, oh, I'm loving this already. And honestly, I feel like that's the general reaction of this movie. I had the same reaction. People I've watched it with before have had that same reaction that like as soon as that movie starts and that's the opening scene, they're like, okay, I like
Yeah.
where this is going.
Yeah, they
because it
definitely
has,
nail
like
it.
that relatability of the movie.
Yeah, and like I said, they definitely nail it. It's like a timeless classic because I don't think no matter what year it's going to be, I think the holiday season is
Well,
always going to be
that movie's
chaotic.
actually this would be the 5-year anniversary of that movie.
Nice, nice.
We were watching it this year, and so probably as of this month, if not last month, was the 5-year anniversary, and it still holds up, same as it did 5 years ago.
No, I think they've
5 years
made
now.
sequels, I think, to that.
They have not. Everybody thinks that
They
there's
haven't?
sequels to it, and there's not. There's straight to DVD like other Krampus movies that have the title of Krampus, but they have nothing to do with this film.
Oh, okay, okay.
Just to make it clear to everybody on the internet,
I was confused
something
too.
that happens frequently, as shown here. But yes, that's just like one of those things, where you see those like straight to DVD horror movies just riffing off of something that's popular.
Oh yeah.
And Krampus was like a huge victim of that because everybody's always like, I didn't really like the sequels. And it's like, there aren't sequels. There are no sequels to this movie. It's just this movie. So with that being your first time you've seen it, I mentioned that the guy who directed it, he might have other movies under his belt at this point. I know the long-awaited one is Trick or Treat 2, but he directed the first Trick or Treat and the Godzilla King of the Monsters. I need to rewatch King of the Monsters after rewatching Krampus now, because that one was the weakest of the three for me. But I was also a huge fan of Trick or Treat. And you asked me at the beginning of this movie if this was like Trick or Treat, and like I was tempted to say yes, but I knew what you meant.
Right.
Like,
right.
no, it's not like an anthology movie like Trick or Treat, but I feel like it has like a similar tone, you know.
Yeah.
For sure. Like it's that, like it's definitely that director's voice. His name's Michael Dougherty, I believe, or Dougherty, Dougherty. I don't know, Michael Dougherty. But
He kills it.
he does. He's one of those filmmakers that does things few and far between, but it's been worth the wait most of the time.
Yeah.
I really hope we get a Trick or Treat too.
I believe that's still in the works.
Yeah, and Krampus is one that, same as like with Child's Play last week. Like there are certain movies I just don't feel need a sequel. I don't think Krampus needs a sequel.
No, it definitely doesn't.
You could do it. Same with Child's Play. You could do it, but it's just like you're running that risk of just rehashing the same stuff.
Right. Yeah, I don't know where more you could expand in that universe without it just being the same.
Yeah,
shit.
without just being a different family and the same shit. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I love it. I'm just gonna keep gushing about it. You're the one that just saw it for the first time.
No, I really enjoy it. Like I said, I think that one's definitely going to be added to the list of holiday movies that need to be watched around Christmas time. It's not a very long list for me. I only watch like Harold and Kumar 3, and I guess now Krampus and maybe Anna and the Apocalypse.
I haven't even, because of this, I haven't even gotten around to like any of my typical like Christmas ones. Like Krampus was one, Krampus was one for me. That's a yearly one. So I guess I got to one of them so far, but Harold and Kumar 3 is one for me. The Night Before with Seth Rogen and
I did want to watch that. I have not seen that one.
It's a good one. It's definitely one worth making a tradition, I feel like.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to do Harold and Kumar. But I feel like something for me with Christmas movies, I always love the stop motion. Like if you're going to like cut away to like the animation, I'm all for it, because they did it in Santa Sleigh? Didn't Santa Sleigh?
Yeah.
Santa Sleigh did it. They did it in this, a little different in Krampus, but they did.
Yeah, but they still did it.
I remember with Harold and Kumar as well. They had their little like stop motion moment.
Oh yeah, when they trip out.
Yeah. Do you have any other thoughts on Krampus?
I don't, man. Like I said, it's just overall a really great movie. Like for a score of this movie, like easily, like I would say 9 out of 10, easily. I don't know what constitutes 10 out of 10, but I feel like this one's gonna be the top. I think 9 out of 10. I've not given that score to anything yet.
I think you've gotten pretty close. Well, no, I think you did. I think you did give it 9 out of 10.
Did I?
I think Anna and the Apocalypse you gave 9 out of 10.
If so, I feel like this is
Child's Play 9 out of 10, and then I believe you gave Anna and the Apocalypse 9 out of 10.
Well, then this might be like 9.2.
9.2. Well,
yeah, a little bit more.
Is that what you're gonna lock in? 9.2.
I'll lock in 9.2. Yeah, judge's score.
9.2.
Hold it up.
I knew within 5 minutes of the rewatch exactly what constitutes a 10 out of 10 for me. And it's this movie. This movie gets a 10 out of 10 for me. Actually, giving this movie a 10 out of 10 actually did make me like start questioning every rating we'd given previously.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are our morals with these rating systems? I'm just like, we seem to be pretty flexible. But at the same time, like I feel like 9, like Child's Play, like it was really, really good. But for me, it still had flaws. Like for this, there's nothing about it I did not like. I have no complaints about this movie. That's why I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. It works for me. It's a well-oiled machine for me.
That's fine. That's fair. That's fair right there. That's a good point.
Yeah. And I usually feel like, 6.5, 7, it's like enjoyable, but like, just okay, And then if you start getting any lower than that, well, it's because it was pretty shitty, It's a good way to gauge our rating system.
I'm sure we'll get into some of those at some point.
Oh man, wait till the lineup after this. This is what I said. We peaked, man.
Yeah, no, for real. They get a little rough.
I'm excited to get into this next one, and I'll say that. If you might, I think you're going to be very surprised about my thoughts on this next movie.
Nice. But yeah, like I said, 9 point. I go like 9.2. I don't know if I'll ever give a perfect 10 rating. I don't know. That's just something that's just like I feel like that's got to be a movie that really blows my fucking mind when I watch it. And although Krampus was like, hell yeah, and shit, it wasn't, it didn't leave anything to be like, whoa, for me, it just was like,
Allow me to say here on episode 9 that I'm not here to fucking convince anybody to think it's a 10 out of 10 movie. That's just my opinion, bro.
Don't hate us, man. It's just how we feel. All right, bro. Well, I guess that should wrap it up then, huh?
That's how we wrap it up.
I believe you can check out Krampus on Hulu or Netflix.
No,
Netflix.
I don't know about Netflix, but it is on Hulu.
Oh well, there you go. Then Hulu. If not, I'm pretty sure it's.
If not, go out and fucking buy it because it's well worth buying. There haven't been a lot on this list so far worth like going out and purchasing, but this is one.
I agree. I agree. You should probably purchase that one. Maybe I'll do that myself.
Well worth it.
Well worth it. All right. Well, we'll live to slay another day.
Another day slayed.